Hello, this is Juan Chavez, and I just want to let you know that tonight's programming is rated M for mature, for crude and indecent language and sexual content. Um, First of all, I'd like to discuss Family Guy. Family Guy is rated Y14. Even though I believe it should be rated M for mature, obviously the FCC doesn't agree with me. Now, I'm just going to touch base with some stuff that covers basic Family Guy and why I feel it should be mature. First of all, you got Mr. Herbert, which is a sexual predator. And he's after Chris. Is Seth MacFarlane goddamn retarded? And I think it's also ridiculous that they set up Peter Griffin to have a mental disability. Now, the reason why I'm feeling this way is because just the whole outlook of the show is completely wrong and inappropriate. First of all, they have somebody named Joe Swanson, who is a paraplegic and uses a wheelchair. And as a person who uses a wheelchair, and as people like Peter saying that Joe is retarded because he uses a wheelchair, that's not anywhere near true. As I said, being a person who uses a wheelchair. And the reason why I feel that way is because I'm perfectly capable and have the mind like everybody else. And for them to even put that in a TV program, I feel it's just wrong. And another section of the episode that has to do with some disabilities in another situation is that Peter had the balls to say that he wasn't going to serve people in wheelchairs, Joe's friends, cop buddies that also were disabled, wasn't going to serve them at his restaurant. One of the things that got me, basically, is he basically said that we are immoral and under fabric with today's society, and that it's a choice to be handicapped. I was like, this is bullshit, man. Seriously. So I'm going to move on to somebody named Brian Griffin, which is the dog. And basically, I'm like, the dog gets drunk, drinks all the time, and yells at a baby. Now, what does that tell you? It doesn't tell you that Brian's a very smart individual, even though most of the time when he's drinking they make him drinking martinis. It's completely messed up, because dogs don't drink. And for them to say it's a drinking dog, I think it's just stupid. Never mind the fact that he talks, which is out of reality, but then the whole show is so. Let me continue. Then you got Lois Griffin, who is a very smart and intelligent woman that puts up with Peter and his shit. But seriously, she is a remarkable person because she holds together a psychotic family, and probably is the one in the whole family that makes the most sense and the least important character in the story. Then we move on to Stewie, I've got a lot to say about Stewie. Stewie's one, and he only has one birthday since 1999 when the show came out. It's been one forever. And the fact that he has plans to kill his mother and take over the world. What the hell is that? 1-year-old baby taking over the world? Seriously? No way, man. And someone who is out to kill his mother? Of all the people out there, why would you want to kill your mother? I don't understand that at all. It just makes me want to frown. And Stewie is psychotic. He has all these little contraptions and little weapons and stuff he uses. One of the most things that gets me the most is his mind control devices. Mind control. The hell's the baby gonna do with mind control? But then again, Stewie takes mind control to a whole different level when he does things like control judges at courtrooms and does all these things. And most of the time, he's got a goddamn time machine in his room. And it makes me laugh because I'm like, the hell's the baby gonna do with a freaking time machine? Travels? Only thing he should be traveling is going forward into his teens and adult years. Except he's bouncing all over the parts of the world and all different times and space-time continuum and going back and seeing his ancestor Leonardo da Vinci, and I can't even get into half of it because most of it doesn't make any sense. And what I just told you doesn't make much sense. You would have to see the freaking show to get the point. Now I'm going to move on to a family also created by Seth MacFarlane, the Smiths. And the Smiths have an alien named Roger. And Roger just doesn't know what to do. Roger is a transvestite, and he's an alien. The fuck are you gonna do with a transvestite alien? You just stick that in the show? Shit, man. It's crazy. So anyway, he's a transvestite alien. Has all his personas and all his stuff he does, and all ridiculous nonsense. Like at one point, it was Sidney Hoffman was one of his personas that he had. Ricky Spanish was another persona that he had. Each persona that he has, each character that he has, so different from the others. He has people like assassins and dress up as women, and he just doesn't know what he's doing, and he's completely confused with what he's doing. And just throughout the show, just acts like he's so damn confused with his freaking sexuality. It's ridiculous. He doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't know whether he has a penis or the other thing. Seriously. I don't need to get into detail about that because it's really not important to the story at all. Roger is my favorite character because he's just retarded with all his ideas. And I know we're not supposed to use the R word, but seriously, he's just retarded. And moving on to somebody named Steve Smith, who will never grow up and get some balls and move on from his little pretend world and his stuffed animals like Triceratops and all that crap. thinks he's in a pretend world all the time on the internet and, playing these damn card games with wizards and shit. Well, seriously, it's time that he grow up like the rest of the world today and realize that what their kids are watching on TV and stop playing their kids in front of the goddamn TV. They should be watching what their kids are watching. Because I worked at the Boys and Girls Club at one point, and I'm just gonna tell you a little story that there was this dumbass kid that came up to me and said, "What is a martini?" I said, "Why you ask?" Brian was drinking one. I was like, "Kid's a dumbass, man. Talking about, martinis and shit." And I was like, what the hell is his parents doing letting him watch this shit? And it was just like badass parenting if you let your kid sit in front of the TV. So anyway, I paused just to give you a second. Think about how I said you dumbass parents, you don't know what your kids are watching or whatever. And it makes me laugh. Because I know that my mother would never let me see that shit. And because of that, I grew up to be a sensible man that knows what's right and wrong. Now, the last part of our segment was Seth MacFarlane and his cartoons. I pause again because it's so fucking hilarious. It's the Cleveland show. Now, Cleveland, he's black, he has a family, divorces his wife, leaves Quahog and moves to Steuben, Virginia. Now, let's just think about that name again. Steuben, Virginia. You're bending shit and calling it a town, seriously. Let's move on. You got a wife, her name's Donna. She's got an ex-husband that thinks he's a damn gangster, some Robert. And he's got this little pain-in-the-ass kid named Rollo, which is Donna's son. I call him the Black Stewie. And the reason why I call him the Black Stewie, see, it's the opposite of Stewie. Basically, a gangster version of Stewie instead of a psychopath that wants to kill his mother, as I said a few minutes ago. Rollo is the man. I look up to Rollo, even though he's like 5 and he's a cartoon. It's like Rollo knows what's going on. He's holding the world down. He's got it. He's cool. Now, Cleveland Jr., very similar to Steve Smith in his character. He lives in pretend world. He's got a stuffed animal. He's 14 freaking years old. And he's got a stuffed animal named Larry. He needs to pull his head out of his ass and realize that 14-year-old kids do not have stuffed animals. If they do, they're girls. If they're guys, decoration. You don't walk around with a stuffed animal named Larry. At one point, Larry's head gets ripped off, and I thought that was the greatest thing in the world, because I was sitting there going, somebody has to do something about that goddamn Larry leopard, zebra. I don't care what he is, they just have to get rid of his ass. Cleveland Jr. was crying. I was like, oh, come on. Cleveland Jr., you're 14 fucking years old, and you still have a goddamn stuffed animal? Come on now. Anyway, that is my view on the Seth MacFarlane stuff that they have now. The Cleveland Show, Family Guy, and American Dad. I will see you all later. Again, that was the Juan Chavez Show. See you next time. Peace.